Oh, okay. Good evening. My name is Bill Tallbear. I'm the executive director of the Department of Housing. And the question was...
what were the proposed changes at housing at the meeting the other night at the Independent Living Center and the raising of the rent and something to do with debt for, I guess, the construction of the Independent Living Center?
Okay. When the Independent Living Center was constructed, there were various funding sources that were sought out, and there were three funding sources. There was the Federal Home Loan Bank, there was HUD, and there was also some housing authority funds. Then there was also a loan that was made, and the housing authority obtained a debt service to repay the loan from the bank from our grant funds, and we are paying that. The money from the Federal Home Loan Bank, when the housing authority received those funds, there were conditions. And one of those conditions was the rent that was charged had to be based on the income. And unfortunately, that was never complied with since 2007, since they opened. And since I have been out there and working with the board, and I actually have a board member present, Ruby Standing Water. She's from this district. And is there anybody else? I see. But the Board of Commissioners, they're responsible for setting policy for the tribes, and also providing direction to make sure that the housing authority is in full compliance. They hired. Hello. They've hired. I think since you've been there, we went through interim, Miss Hoffman, and then we also had Mr. White Skunk as the director. And the board met in December, and we addressed this issue about complying with our with this loan that we got from Topeka, Kansas. And the recommendations that we made, myself and the compliance officer and the resident service coordinator, the one who oversees actually the management of the Independent Living Center, we recommended a cap on the amount of rent. You remember that? We recommended a cap of $300. However, the board in their discussions decided that they wanted to go with a different number, with the sliding scale based on the income. And so the $300 cap went out the window. We wanted to be fair with the residents, because there are residents there that make below $10,000 in their annual income, and the amount of money that they pay for rent of $175 is actually too much. With this new formula that we have, that the board approved in January, was going to actually lower their rent. And unfortunately, the rent was going to be raised more than the cap that we recommended. And last night, at the board meeting last night, we had some representation from the residents of the house of the Independent Living Center, and you know, I would like to ask my commissioner what the action was last night.